This video, we're going to continue the March to the King series. This time we're going to rewind review Terror of MechaGodzilla. Okay guys, welcome back. So Terror of MechaGodzilla, the sequel to Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, basically picks up almost where the last movie leaves off. The Interpol agents are searching for the remains of the wrecked MechaGodzilla. During that search, the submarine gets destroyed by a new monster named Titanosaurus, or at least new at the time of the movie. And from there, everything pretty much goes to shit. The aliens are still hanging around. There is a new character who is actually human but wants to destroy the world, and his name I think is Dr. Mifune in the movie. He has a daughter named Katsura, and of course the agents. And then there's another character who's kind of working for Interpol, but he's not an Interpol agent. Can't quite remember what he is, but he was also in the Godzilla vs. Megalon movie. This movie was very, it wasn't successful financially or at the time when it came out, but I thought the movie, while not better than Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. The thing of it is, I love to see MechaGodzilla. That suit is so epic, in my opinion, that even today you could use that suit or use that design and reimagine it in CGI, and I think it's still the best one they've created out of all the MechaGodzillas or the Kiryus or whatever you want to call them. I think that's just the best suit, bar none. That's my opinion. Titanosaurus was a unique design, but I really couldn't get into him as a monster, or I didn't enjoy him that much because he had a very, very annoying roar. That roar was so annoying. I thought the design was pretty cool. It was unique. It was original. But the roar, I couldn't get over the roar. It was just too much for me. Godzilla's look was better in this movie. They took like the happy face or the happy angry face from the prior movie, and they kind of redefined it a little bit. It had more, his cheekbones were a little bit higher. He definitely looked meaner, but it was overall this pretty much almost identical design. Just they changed the face a little bit more to in my opinion, to make him look tougher. I thought there were some really cool scenes. The first time Godzilla makes his appearance, where he kind of lifts his head, and you can see him in the shadows, and then out of nowhere you see his atomic breath hit Titanosaurus, and then they pan on him, the lights go on, and boom, there's the big guy, and he's ready for action. It's funny, the guy that I was referring to in the alien that I was referring to in Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, the one who I said was suave because he was drinking the wine and having the cigars and talked very pleasantly and had a very smooth Casanova-like swag to him. Well, he was also in this movie as well, and he once again played the leader. I'm unsure as to whether or not he played the same role, because I remember the first movie he had kind of like that green spot, and then this movie it wasn't there. But man, that guy's got swag. Even in this movie, he's not as, he's not doing the whole wine and cigar thing. But that guy, I'm telling you, man, he's like the Japanese version of the Dos Equis guy. Like I could sit there, I could just sit there seeing him in a commercial like, I don't always attack Tokyo, but when I do, I prefer using MechaGodzilla. Like, that would be like his plug, and it would be so hype. You know what I mean? He's just a smooth dude. But so anyway, there's the girl Katsura is a cyborg. She has the power to control Titanosaurus, who somehow, they don't really explain it, but somehow is linked to the Doctor. And the aliens and the Doctor have collaborated to bring the world to its knees so they can rebuild it in their image. Basically, Interpol and Godzilla unofficially team up to, put a stop to that. And, Godzilla, I like the idea that he was fighting two monsters, and it really, really showed his power, and it really showed his resolve. But he got his ass kicked a little bit in this one. He really did. The whole Titanosaurus, plucking his mouth and punching him in the air was a little bit okay. But, I mean, what I thought was cool is when the second time he appeared, which was to fight both of them at the same time, it's like, it was so cool. Like, he first looks at MechaGodzilla, and he's like staring him down, and then he's trying to get to him, and you see like Titanosaurus blocking him, kind of saying like, you got to get through me before you get to him. And so that was pretty cool. And then finally later on, when Godzilla gets his chance, he just starts wailing on MechaGodzilla. You know, the scenes where Titanosaurus and MechaGodzilla are destroying the city was kind of like, it was kind of weird because MechaGodzilla would do all the destroying, you know, the missiles, the I-beams, and all this kind of stuff. And then right after he destroyed like a certain part of the city, Titanosaurus would basically turn around and clean up. So Titanosaurus was like the janitor, you know, while MechaGodzilla was the one making the mess. It was kind of weird how they set that up. But, you know, it was, this movie was, for that time, the end of the series. It didn't do well. They decided to shut down for a while. They never said they would not make a movie, but they kind of took a break from doing it. And then later on, that's when we got Godzilla in 1985. You know, the story was your typical alien controlling the monsters deal, which we've seen plenty of times. And I think at this point, a lot of people probably thought it started to get old. Maybe that's why it didn't succeed so much. You know, I figured, excuse me, I got a cold. I figured with the uniqueness of MechaGodzilla at the time, it would have, just for that, would have done well. But I mean, I think over time it's gotten better. I mean, the first MechaGodzilla is the best one in my opinion, but this one wasn't too bad. Titanosaurus was a little bit annoying. MechaGodzilla, I don't feel we got to see him enough like we did in the first one, and Godzilla basically showed up twice. He showed up to fight Titanosaurus, and then he showed up to fight both of them. So I think that made the movie suffer as well. I think the storyline was old. It was your typical control the monsters by the alien storyline. An introduction to a new monster who I don't think a lot of people would gravitate towards. You know, while I might think the design is unique, a lot of people probably didn't, and that roar was just too much for me to bear. I just couldn't deal with it. But overall, look, it's not one of the best ones of the franchise, but it's definitely not one of the worst. It has one of my favorite enemy kaijus, which is MechaGodzilla. That suit design is so epic, in my opinion. I love that suit design. And, you know, this was the end of that. You know, some people are saying Showa, the Showa series was the last of the Showa series in '84. A lot of people consider '84 the Heisei series. According to what I read here, the '84 movie is actually part of the Showa, but, you know, you say tomato, I say tomato. I guess the fact of the matter is that at that point, we wouldn't see another movie for another 9 years. And with that said, next Wednesday, we will continue the March of the King series. We are going to review Godzilla Returns, or some of you know it as Godzilla 1985 or 1984, and that's going to be a lot of fun. That's actually one of my favorite. I have one of my favorites, but that's probably one of the top, you know, definitely in my top 5 of favorite Godzilla movies, because they really switched the tone back to what it should be, which was dark. But we'll get into that movie next week. So Terror of MechaGodzilla, overall, look, it's not the greatest one in the world. It's a redundant plot. An annoying new monster. Godzilla's not around very much. MechaGodzilla's not around very much. But it's still fun when they're all together fighting. It's still very fun to watch. And, hey, it's Big G. Big G, and you get to see him do his thing in this movie against 2 monsters. So sometimes, some people, that's worth the price of admission alone. So, but anyway, guys, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for next week when we continue the March of the King series, and we do Godzilla 1985, a.k.a. Godzilla's Return. Take it easy, and I'll see you next video. Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob. This video we're going to continue the March to the King series. This time we're going to rewind review Terror of MechaGodzilla. Okay guys, welcome back. So Terror of MechaGodzilla, the sequel to Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, basically picks up almost where the last movie leaves off. The Interpol agents are searching for the remains of the wrecked MechaGodzilla. During that search, the submarine gets destroyed by a new monster named Titanosaurus, or at least new at the time of the movie. And from there, everything pretty much goes to shit. The aliens are still hanging around. There is a new character who is actually